Hey guys, how are all my hair comrades today? Rick here, um, shooting a quick video. It's actually been a while and there has been a lot to happen over the last several weeks. I have moved into this studio and strictly to do hair replacement and to help you guys along on this journey. But a question I get over and over is cutting the template, cutting the base to fit the template, particularly that little front section of skin. And I'm talking about HD111H, M101V, all those super thin skin units. And that, we got a hair hanging here. And that all come with this little extra piece of skin on the front. And this is my least favorite thing to do because it is pretty tedious, but I have done it several ways. I've used a razor before while it's still in that plastic form. Sometimes in shipping, it comes off of that and it won't re-stick back down to it. But what I've been doing lately is what I'm about to show you, and it works pretty well. And, you know, this is cheapo, El Cheapo manicure shears, scissors of some kind. They have this little curved on the end that help me slip through the hair without cutting it, all of that. And for whatever reason, these babies right here cut better through that little skin than my $400 shears do. So hey, I'm going to stand up here a bit and I'm going to show you exactly. I'm going to grab this skin, the edge of that skin, just like so. And then you can see the line of where the hair is. And I'm just going to cut. And I'm going to pull that out just a bit, stretching that just a tiny bit to get it right to the place I want it to be. And it actually happens fairly easily, as you can tell. Now I have some straight pins that are stuck around the edges of this to hold it in place for me a bit. And I actually had my wife help me one time, and she kind of held the skin out while I did the cutting, and man, that was a snap. But she's not always available. Not for that anyway. A little more, there we go. And that's going really well. You still see? Back up just a bit, there we go. I'm still holding on to this piece of skin right here that started cutting off, and that makes it easier. Being careful not to cut up into the front hairline. You do not want to do that, and you don't want to cut any hair at all. We're just cutting this extra skin. Don't cut any of that hair, because if you do, you'll give yourself a little burr across the front. These little prickly sticks of hair that you've chopped off at the scalp's how it's going to look, and so you certainly don't want to do that. I didn't get quite close enough there, so I'm going to back up a bit. Look at that. It's just coming right off. Okay, boom. Little piece of skin. Greatness. Now let's do a little double check to make sure. I probably want to take a little more of that right there off, so I'm going to let that kind of roll up and just come right under things. There we go. Got it. Perfection. Right there. All right, now I am going to do the template. This is Ricky Joe's right here. Isn't that sad? Because my parents have not done better. You know, I'm Central Texas. So I guess, the story was that when I was born, my mother was expecting that because she had nothing but sisters, that surely she's going to have girls, right? Well, big surprise. I came out with a few extra parts, and so they were not prepared for a little boy's name. And the story was told to me that my mother's cousin was visiting her back in the day whenever you stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks when you had a baby, discussing a name. And she said, well, Ricky's a popular name, and Joe's his father's name. How about Ricky Joe? And they said, that'll do. So here I am. Anyway, let's get this. I'm going to find my template and cut this around to fit my template and be up close and personal here with you guys. I'll be right back. Hey, this is the High Level Man here. Guys, how are you doing? This is Rick, and I am going to be doing some things. I have some videos on this already, but my way of doing things evolves, as that's the case with most all of us if we search for better ways to do things. So, excuse me, I'm going to cut the skin off the front of this unit. I'm going to cut the template, this to fit the template, and then I'm going to do the cut in on it. All three of those things I'm going to do here today. So come back on in and let's have a good time and enjoy this together and see, maybe, hopefully, you'll learn a thing or two from me. I can hope so. So I'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the High Level Man. So I've cut the skin off of the very front of the system, that extra skin, and this is my handy dandy template, and I am going to trace around that so I can cut that to fit my poor little old bald head. Now, a couple of things. This is the front of the system. This is the front of my template. I want that to be right in the middle and come right to the very front edge of the front hairline. And then I also want it to be centered from side to side here, because I don't want to cut off more on one side than I do the other. That'll make everything kind of, Texas term, cockeyed. And so yeah, I think that's about right. So got a magic marker here, and I'm just going to trace around this system. And I'm not going to get all the way to the edge of my template because I don't want to get any of this black permanent marker on there. Some people use that white pencil of a thing. I can't ever get it to come off. It won't go on there. I can't. So this works. I'm cutting it all off. I'll cut right above this line that I'm making. Going all the way around there. And I'm just holding the template down on the system because I don't want to pin it, because I don't want to poke any holes in the very thin skin of this unit. And you want to kind of press down on the top of it because you don't want any air bubbles up there, because if you do, don't press down and then you've got some lift up in the middle, then your template's going to fall a bit short. Okay, done deal. Let's take this off. And there we have it. Okay, now let's cut this bad boy out. And here we go. So I am going to start actually in the middle of the back. I don't like to start on this front edge because I'm always afraid that I'm not going to be able to get under that hair good there, and I'm going to be out of the frame. But so you can see this good. But I'm going to come in right here and slide through that hair, hold on to the skin. And this is pretty easy to do. This part I don't mind, because you would think, man, isn't it hard not to cut hair? No, it really isn't. For some reason, I press up with the bottom of this little scissor up against the skin, up against underneath here, and I slide it right across, just right underneath, and it splits the hair for either side. And I'm not opening this shear like this either. I'm just barely working that. Stick it in there, slide it up against the system, and just rip and tear right through there. Poor choice of words, maybe. You know what I'm saying. And I'm pulling on this so I can pull that up a little off of the block. Just like that. We are almost there on this side. And right on through. Oops, a little more. There we go. Boom. Lovely. All right, let's turn this around. See if I can do this backwards. Hope you can still see, probably, maybe. And I am continuing to press up into the system skin so it slides through the hair, not over any. There we go. And that, my friends, is a done deal. Okay, we're ready for the cut in. Simple as that. I hope that I helped you out some. I'm gonna wet this down, do a little bit of a haircut. Cut that off right there. No, I'm just kidding, I'm not. So let's talk about the particular style I have going on this one. So I don't have a fade right now. If you want to call it a fade, it's not a skin fade. Maybe it's a fade, but it's not a skin fade. Good Lord. Anyway, so it's just going to do that. So you can see the length of that right there. This is all system hair, this longer. And this is me right here, all of this. When I started this journey, this strip right through here was a lot darker than it is now. So making it blend with the color was difficult because all of this, of course, is like, this is just white. And then I had this real dark ring around the top of my bio hair. So if I did dark hair on top, it didn't match my beard. It looked strange. But if I did gray hair on top, it didn't match the bio hair on the sides because it was still dark. So it started to even out a little bit, which I'm grateful. But so this is a disconnected cut. And I usually like it best when it's just kind of gel back. But you can see the length of this right here. Right about down to there. And then the sides, you can see that clearly, come down to about the top of my ear. On this side, and on this side, not quite that long, because this is the short side of the part. So I don't want this hanging all the way down to here too. I want it to have some disconnect like it does, but I really want this side to have some. So it's layered all around, and if you were to comb this front, wet it and comb it straight down, it would be shorter on the sides as it comes around, and then it's going to dip way down in the front, about right here. So it's going to do this, cut like this, and then it's going to go right straight back up. So this, you see this right here is not really very long, and this right here is not really very long, but this is. And then I don't buzz the sides of it either. I want this to all be concave. If it's convex and it's scooping in and goes like this, I've got too much of a disconnect in my bio hair. But if I don't have enough length here, there's nothing for this to lay on. I can't work with it at all. And it just looks skinned on the sides, which I don't like. I don't like it to be completely skinned looking on the sides. I like for it to come out and have a little fullness here. And then this come down and kind of lay over it and it'll go back. Anyway, that's what I like. Lots of questions about that. So there you go. So, hey guys, listen, thought of the day. If you are a young man and you are in your 20s and you see, but I'm losing my hair, and you don't like that, this is my word to you. When it comes to hair and when it comes to life, take it from someone that is a few days from being 69 years old. And if you can't do those numbers, that's a year from 70, which kind of freaks me out because you've heard me say I am not done. I got a lot of life, I have a lot of energy, and I got a lot of stuff that I want to do. This stuff being part of it. But if you're in your 20s, I would give you this word of advice. Don't waste time. And don't waste time. Give other people some space in your life. Don't be critical and judgmental just because someone else has a different opinion from yours. And don't preach yours from a pulpit that contains hellfire and brimstone. But learn to live in peace, learn to accept others' opinions, learn to value how they feel, and in turn that will make you a lot happier. So don't waste any time. And if you're losing your hair, don't waste any time. Get hair on your head. It's an easy thing, and it will make you happy. It will make life better. It will, well, I don't know if it'll make you happy. It'll make you feel better, and hopefully it'll make you happier when you look in the mirror, but don't waste time. Now, if you are a gentleman that is older, as I am, and you're discouraged and you feel, oh my goodness, I'm at the tail end of life, don't look at it that way. And to you, I would give the very same advice. Don't waste any more time. If you've wasted time getting to the part of the journey you're at now, stop. Because you are right about one thing. You're not getting any younger, but there's still a lot of left life, a lot of lived alive, a lot of life to live. And you would be surprised what a positive attitude, what putting a smile on your face and being kind and saying nice things to others, how much better it will cause you to feel. Because if you do the opposite of that and you grumble and complain all the time, guess what? You're going to wind up waking in the morning feeling tired, feeling bad, and feeling unhappy. But it is amazing what you can do. Even if you say, but Rick, I'm depressed. Let me tell you something that I call intentional thought processing. When a negative thought comes into your head that has the whole intention of discouraging you and bringing you down, just take it captive and throw it out and replace it with something happy. I don't care if it was a ride you rode at an amusement park with your wife or friend. I don't care if it was a camping trip. I don't care if it was a European vacation. Anything you had fun and found joy in a moment, start thinking on that thing and think on it really, really hard. And you'll be surprised the difference it makes. So I suppose I won't pass the plate for that little sermon. But anyway, listen, guys, I care about this. I care about you. And I am so grateful for you all that have given these wonderful comments. I had someone ask me, so how often do you get negative comments? And I said, you know what? Honestly, I bet it's less than 5%, way less than 5%, actually. And so, man, that's a blessing, right? And on that occasion, if sometimes I get a negative, well, it's clearly because they're not seeing something correctly, or they're not understanding something, or maybe I've misrepresented the way I've said it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like I said, they can have their own opinions, and that's fine. And I am not offended, and I definitely do not take it personal because we are all in this journey together. And whenever you meet other people, and you might think, I can't believe they think that, or I can't believe they do that, or I can't believe they're this, or they're that, or they're something else. Understand this. We are all on this journey together. We are all evolving. We are all changing, hopefully, because if you're not changing, you're about half dead. Because as long as I have breath in these lungs, there's going to be room for change. As long as I could speak words out of this mouth, hopefully, there's still time that I can make a difference for somebody. And I hope that somebody today is you. Let's hang together. Let's get this done together. Let's live in peace and let's stop wasting time because time's getting short for me. And let's just have joy in the journey. I'm happy and I want you to be too. I have this new studio you can kind of see here. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And this is brand new for me. And I'm doing all my hair replacement stuff over here. And so I am having the time of my life. And it all started with a little piece of skin with some hair on it. And honestly, it's going to sound really dramatic, but it freaking changed my life. I mean, I even hate to admit it because my life was good before, but this is better. All right, guys. High level man here. Rick signing out. Onward and upward with the world far behind, right? We can do this. See you later.